If you got a list of your stats once you died, which statistic would you be most curious about? How many times I almost died without knowing it? How many people I was attracted to were also attracted to me and I had no idea? I have a few. Who I thought about the most? A breakdown of my lifetime cash flow. Even the $2 I blew at the gas station when I was 5. How many people actually enjoy my company? The ratio of good, decent, bad, indifference impressions I left in people. That would also double as how many people I've interacted with 2IG. Though I also want to know how many trees I've climbed. How many photographs taken by other people I'm in. Where all my lost things went. And how many times I was this close to running into a person I knew. Redditors, what are your most interesting roommate stories? I'm pretty sure I used to live with a hobbit. Man about 5 feet 1 inch, curly brown hair, constantly cheerful demeanor. Never wore shoes inside or out. Literally slept on the floor in what can only be explained as a nest of blankets. Started a garden and encouraged me to eat his tomatoes all the time. Would bring home samosas and other goodies, always giving me half just because. He and his wife had a dream of living off the grid in a tiny home on a truck. And #X200B. I hope he's doing well. We met when we showed up for dorm room assignments our freshman year of college. Almost 50 years later, we're still the closest of friends. I recently attended his daughter's wedding. A grand affair, because he happens to be uber wealthy. At one point I found myself choking up, and it wasn't for the bride and groom, it was for John and me. How far we've come from that first awkward handshake a half-century ago. What is a video game that hasn't aged well? The sad decline of Madden and the EA NHL games has to be up there. Twisted Metal. I remembered it blowing my teenaged mind when it came out, but going back it was a mess of barely controllable, barely distinguishable rectangles going bomp bomp bomp. The nostalgia filter was so strong that, for a second, I thought the PS1 was broken. Maybe a hot take, but GoldenEye on the N64 was one of my favorite games ever, but it's borderline unplayable now that modern shooters with 2 control sticks exist. Halo came out 4 years after GoldenEye, but the difference between them is so vast it might as well be a decade. Roblox games. They went from nostalgic games that are fun with a great community, to just a bunch of scams with half-hearted content. Lee Carvalho's Pudding Challenge. Replayed it the other night, and it kept defaulting to Power Drive, even though I clearly selected Feather Touch. Women of Reddit. Where do you prefer hair to be, not to be on a man's body? Whatever he's got he's got. I'm more concerned about if it's seen soap and water within a reasonable time frame. I thought I preferred no chest hair and no facial hair on men, but it turns out I'm just a lesbian. When I was younger I thought too much chest hair was unappealing. Then I met my husband and was surprised by how soft and comforting it is. Like a big cuddly man blanket. I love lying on him. Definitely a preference now. Smiling face with hearts. I love a hairy man. Just keep it cleaned and tame. I also love a not so hairy man. I seem to have a wide preference. His teeth shouldn't have hair. As long as his pubes aren't long enough to tickle my nose while I'm giving him head I don't care.